Okay, so good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the session. I think for the online, hope my voice is clear for you. Can you please confirm me, guys, whether like I'm audible or not? Online, are you able to hear me? I think, wait. Okay, fine. So, guys, in last session, which topic we have seen? KOps. What is KOps? It's a third party tool which can create the cluster, delete the cluster, manage, upgrade everything, right? Fine. So, in today's session, like I'm gonna show you the script that is going to automate the KOps setup. So in last class, to explain the KOps, to install the KOps, to create the cluster, we take a lot of time, right? But in today's class, everything is gonna be automated within 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, you have the end-to-end cluster ready. How many minutes? 5 minutes. So this is the script. What exactly you are going to run? I'm gonna copy the script here, and already you have your EC2 instance launched on the region. So what I'll be doing is vim kops.sh. But let me remove the existing files here, rm-rf star. Micro is fine. So here the only thing I'm changing is bucket name. Why? Because see, buckets are globally accessible. If I create a bucket with the name of Raham, you cannot use the same name. Even though it is different account, it is not accepted. Okay. You got the issue, huh? So definitely need to change the name of the bucket. Okay. So I'm giving some different name. Okay. So I have the script, but remember before you execute the script, in the starting of the script, I mentioned one point. What is the main point here? If I go to KOps, here I can go and check. First of all, I need to go to vm.bashrc. I need to run this command. I need to give the source. If I don't do this now, even though if I install command, my commands will not work. So first of all, do this manually and run the script. vm.bashrc. Go to the last line. Oh, wait. And give the command source.bashrc. Okay. So this is the only step that you are going to do manually. Okay. So everything you are going to run with the script. Now hit sh cops.sh. First of all, it is going to ask the access key and secret key, right? Sir, already in the last session, you download the access key and secret key. So you are going to reuse the same access key and same secret key. So let me go for here. It is the infra user. It will show. But you download to local vendor, okay? Why? Because every time if you want to reuse, you cannot go to AWS console all the time, na? Just copy it. I'm giving the access key secret key. Region US East 1. Output is on table format. So now within 5 minutes, time is 6:15 now. So in 6:20, your cluster will be ready. Is it automating everything or not, sir? Am I doing anything here? No, I'll just run the script and I'll relax. Okay. So now see. And if you want to see what is happening in the background, already you know there is a command called cops validate cluster. So if I run this one, I'm going to get a error, state error. It is going to be expected error. Whenever if you are getting the validation failed state store. Okay. So the major reason for this error is going to be if you open cops script or is in the export command, run this export command and run the commands. That means whenever if you are getting the state store issue, okay, so the only thing you are going to do is go to the script and run the export command. If you run that command, it is going to work properly. Is it working or not, sir? No. So exactly by 6:20, your cluster will be on ready. So wait for 6:20, okay, and you will be getting lot of errors. Ignore them, okay. And one more thing. So all of you are following me on like LinkedIn. Today I posted job opening like for DevOps 10 LP is the package. Okay. So try to check my LinkedIn post. Okay. That's going to be helpful for you for placements and everything. And the craziest thing is, have I shown you the Subramania status? Actually, he got the package of 5 lakhs as a fresher. On Friday, I shown you, right? So after within like exactly 3 to 4 days, I got one more message from one of my previous student. His name is Raju. Actually, he got the DevOps opening. He applied for the opening and he got the job. You know what is the package he got? I think you can see it here. What is the package he got? 5.5 lakhs as a fresher. Lot of you people thinking like in DevOps there is no jobs, but see how many students are cracking 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs, and 7 lakhs as a fresher. Don't think we don't have jobs on DevOps. We have, but the required skill set is not with lot of freshers. Okay, that is the reason why companies won't hire fresher easily. But if you have proper skill set, getting the job is very easy. It's like a jujube for all of you. Huh? If you learn the concepts. So you can see it's still running. Wait for a couple of minutes. So now in today's class, I'm going to show you cluster management and working with the namespaces, how to manage the cluster. Huh? So I think it's raining heavily right outside. Still it is raining or like raining? Huh? Then better I'll try to leave class early because a lot of you people might coming from different places, right? So for today, I'll try to leave it 7:15 or like maximum 7. Let's. Hmm. What Anirudh? Tell me, man, what it is. Hmm. Really? Where you got placed? IBM. Oh, congratulations. IB? Oh, cybersecurity. Great, great, Anirudh. When is you joining? June 1st. Means on this week only, right? Huh? Okay, that means from July. Oh, great. That means by the end of July, like we can complete this course also, mostly. But anyways, congratulations. So if you go and see my master node and worker nodes are ready here. Are you seeing true, true, true? So if you are getting true means these nodes are completely ready to use. Okay. So just go and check. Within 1 minute, you will be getting the healthy status. If you get your cluster is healthy, that means you can use the cluster. Okay. Still it is waiting. Wait for some time. You can see your cluster is now ready. That means you can use. Okay. So if I go and see all my infrastructure has been ready within how many minutes? So servers, load balancer, auto scaling group, IAM roles, IAM policies, VPCs, NACL, security groups, everything got created within 5 minutes. But if you want to do everything in the AWS manually, you know how much time it will take? It will take at least 1 hour. How much? But how much time we took to automate the entire process? 5 minutes. That is the power of DevOps. Okay. I'll tell you one thing. If you have only cloud knowledge, getting the job is going to be very difficult. Everyone is going to DevOps. Why? Because DevOps can automate a lot of cloud things. Is it clear? Fine. So now here, if I want to get the list of worker nodes, command will be kubectl get NO. You can write nodes, or you can write node, or you can write NO. Anything you can use. Are you getting three worker nodes? Oh, sorry, three nodes here. Control plane indicates master node. In Kubernetes, master can also be called as control plane, or you can call as pilot node also. So these will be my worker nodes. So now in today's session, I'm going to show you how to manage the cluster. Currently, if you go and see how many worker nodes are there, 2, and how many master, 1. But in real time architecture, you are going to create 5 nodes. How many nodes? In these 5 nodes, 2 of them are master nodes, and 3 of them will be worker node. This will be the ideal cluster. Why? Because unfortunately, one master node failed. How will the worker nodes are going to be managed? That is the reason we go and create 2 master and 2 worker. But for practical purpose, I am showing you 1 master and 2 worker nodes. But in the real-time production environment, you will be equipped with 2 masters and 3 worker nodes. Sir, for example, I want to scale the worker nodes. Currently, how many worker nodes are there? I want to scale them. So already if you go to the cluster logs here, you can see something called as suggestions here. Let me go here. So these suggestions you are going to copy paste. Are you seeing the suggestions here? If you want to, wait, let me go back. If you want to list the cluster, command is cops get cluster. Or if you want to edit the cluster, command will be cops edit cluster and name of the cluster. For example, if you want to edit the instances in your cluster, the command will be cops edit IG, name of the cluster and availability zone. So this indicates if you want to modify the worker nodes, if you run that command, you can modify any worker node. And by default, that command we are not going to remember. Why? Because that come with the logs only. So no need to remember that one. Hit enter. Currently, how many worker nodes are there? 2. I want to scale it to 4 worker nodes. How many? So minimum 4 and maximum 4. Now once you edit the cluster, now you want to run the update. So give the command cops update cluster hyphen name of the cluster will be raham s dot k8s dot local and put hyphen s. Now cluster is going to update. Previously, how many worker nodes are there? But now it will come as 4 automatically. And once if you're done with that one, run the last command called cops rolling update cluster. This is the last command. Edit, update, and roll. Now if you can go and see, currently we are having 2 worker nodes, right? But if I wait and click on refresh, automatically it is going to spin up 2 new worker nodes. It is coming or not, sir? Now these 2 worker nodes will be created automatically, will join on the cluster automatically. How means automation. KOps will take care of it. Currently it is on which status? Pending. Wait for it until it got completed. So this cluster management is gonna be the work of the cluster admins. But here you are learning as a fresher. Okay. This is going to be done by the CKA, Certified Kubernetes Administrator. For every cluster, we have the admin. He is responsible to do all of these activities. Admin activity only. But I'm teaching you as a fresher level. Why? Because you want to gain 3 years of knowledge at least. So let me click on refresh. Are these running now? Now if I go and give the command kubectl, how to list the nodes? Kubectl get NO. How many nodes you are seeing still? How many worker nodes? 2. But here though we are having 4 worker nodes na. But why you are seeing still 2 here? That is the question. But here the status checks are still on. Already I discussed. If you want to replicate your worker nodes inside the cluster, you need to pass 2 by 2 checks. Otherwise, it is not going to replicate. And what is 2 by 2 checks here? One is system check. Second one is going to be instance check. One check will check the operating system and hardware. Second check will check the network of your instance. So remember, it is going to be interview question 5. Wait until we get 2 by 2 checks. So I'll show you on the cluster here. And till now, how many classes done for us? Can anyone tell me the number of classes done till now? 38, only 38. If you are having recordings, you can see it. How? 35, 36, huh? Sure, huh? Okay. So still, are you seeing 2 by 2 now? Checks. No, right? If I go in kubectl will get node, still I'm getting this one. That means it got just now joined. If I go in, click on refresh here, just click on the refresh browser now, you'll be getting here 2 by 2 checks. That is one, fine. Wait, let me refresh. So sometime it will take graphical user interface to load the status, okay? But here it is already joined. In the background, are you seeing it's got joined? So currently, how many worker nodes are there now? 1, 2, 3. So 3 are on ready status, but one is, that means still it is working in the background. So in the background, it is still initializing. Okay, so wait. So you need to check whether the node is ready or not. If the node is not ready, your master node will not place pod on the worker node. Okay. Is it ready now? So we can use it. So like that. Sir, still again, like I want to go back to 2 worker nodes only. Just I shown you how to scale the worker nodes automatically. If I don't want to scale them, if I want to go back, again the same command. Cops edit. First of all, edit the instance group of worker nodes by the above command. So number of worker nodes you want is 2. Go back 2. And for worker node, initially I have given T2 medium, but in future, if you want T2 large, you can change instance type. You can change whatever you want here, okay? Save it now. After editing the instance group, now you are going to update. What you are going to do? So give the command cops update cluster, name of the cluster input hyphen hyphen. Yes. And after running the update command, finally you are going to run the rolling. What you are going to run? Rolling update. So if you don't do this, it is not going to run. Now you can go and check. Currently, these are 4 worker nodes, right? But if I go and click on refresh, 2 of them are going to vanish. 2 of them are which state? So in this way, you can scale in the cluster and you can scale down also. Of course, you can do it automatically. We will set a CPU limitation. If my worker node 1 and worker node CPU limitation is more than 70, create worker node 3 automatically. We can set limits like this also, which I'm going to show on upcoming days for you. But as of now, scaling the cluster, clear for all of you know. First of all, edit, later update, and later rolling. So these 3 I have mentioned here very, very carefully. Let me go to the note here. So in the concept of admin activities, first of all, you are going to edit, later update, and finally rolling. That's it. And same way, for example, you showed us how to scale the worker nodes. But if I want to scale the master nodes, again, same command. First of all, you are going to do update. So cops edit instance group, but instead of master, sorry, instead of worker, now you are going to update which node here? Master. So currently, how many masters are there here? 1, but I want to get for 2. So 2 and 2 will be there, and run the command called cops. After it, you are going to run update, and after update, rolling. Same formula, edit, update, rolling. So give the command cops rolling update cluster. That's it. Now, currently you are having only 1 master node, but if I click on refresh, automatically you will get the second master node. Are you seeing second master node is on pending status or not, sir? Let me like filter the running servers for my better visibility. I think all of you, are you able to hear me, right? Can you please confirm? Is my audio clear for all of you or not? Are you seeing master 1 and master 2 here. So in this way, we can update the master nodes also. Okay. So same formula, edit, update, roll, edit, update. So here I have given a step by step. So edit, update, roll. That's it. So is the concept of updating the cluster clear for all of you know? Everybody. Online, can you please confirm is the concept of updating cluster clear for all of you or not? Can you please confirm in online? I think you are not getting the option to ping. I think admin disabled it. I think so. Only some of you are able to ping me. Okay. It's fine. So, okay, fine. So next concept is gonna be a concept called, yes, Ankit, I can able to see your pings. Okay. Next concept is going to be called as workspace. Here you can see N.I.T host. That is the reason why these people are confusing. I think instead of me, they are pinging to some other person. Okay. Let me rename my name actually. Raham. So guys, I have renamed my name. So can you please ping me now once for my confirmation? Yeah. So now I'm getting the ping. Great. So like earlier, he was pinging to the co-host actually with the same name. Fine. Great. So now I'm going to teach you the concept called namespaces. What I'm going to teach you? So basically, what is a namespace in Kubernetes? Okay. See, I think all of you know the concept of our home, right? If you understand the concept of home, namespace will be very easy for you. Let me correlate how the namespace is interlinked with our homes. It's very easy. For example, let me clear the screen. Okay. So what I was trying to do now is, here I am going to explain everything on the diagrammatical format from the paint here. Can you explain first note? Which one, Pujta? First note means? Sir, it is our cluster, right? Inside the cluster, we are having multiple nodes, master node and worker nodes. If the project is monolithic, for developers, we have dev servers. For testers, we are having testing servers. For client, we are having UAT servers. And for production, we are working it. So in a monolithic architecture, if you are working with servers, you can give different server for different teams. But now here you are working on microservice. Where you are working on? Whenever if you are working on microservices, you will be working on a single cluster. Now in this case, am I going to create multiple cluster for multiple teams? No, it's not going to happen. You are going to create single cluster, but you are going to divide the single cluster to the multiple teams. For developers, I'm going to create dev namespace. And for testers, I'll create dev namespace. And for UAT, for client, I'm going to create UAT namespace. And finally, for the production, I'm going to create the namespace for DevOps engineers. So now this concept, I'm going to interlink with the concept of home. For example, it is my cluster. Okay. What it is? Cluster. Inside my cluster, I want to divide the same space for multiple team members, right? So for developer, I want to give it this namespace. That means my developer work on this namespace here. And my tester work on this namespace. I'll explain what is namespace. Till now, I haven't spoke about namespace. So my clients, that means my UAT is going to work on this area and DevOps people will work on this area. This is how exactly I'm going to organize. Okay. Developing, testing, UAT and DevOps. So now this concept I'm going to compare with the home. For example, let's compare our cluster with the home. How I'm comparing here cluster with the home. For example, if you take our home, sir, we will be having father, mother, brother, and sister, and you mostly. So now tell me, whenever you are having multiple family members, are you going to create, are you going to construct a different home for different family members? Or are you going to stay together? Why you can't construct a different building for your siblings and your parents? Very expensive, right? We can't afford. Here also, whenever you are working with different teammates, okay, So we cannot create different clusters for them. Why? Because if I want to create multiple cluster, I need to pay a lot for them. For that purpose, just like I divide my home to my family members, here also this cluster I am going to divide to my teammates. For example, in my home, for my parents, I am going to allocate a room. Correct or not, sir? Now, if they want to stay, they will stay on this room only. Their portion is done. Similarly, in my home, I have my grandparents also. So I'm going to write as grandies. Okay. So my grandparents. So my grandparents, for them, I allocated a single room. So similarly, in my home, I have my elder sibling. For there also, I'm going to allocate a room here, siblings. And finally, for me also, I have a separate room. Now, if you compare like this, tell me one thing. So if you divide your space like this, all of our family members can stay together or not, sir? And the best part is you are having different places to stay. Now, if you divide your home to your parents, to your grandparents, and for siblings, and for you, all of them you can stay together. The best part is here what you are doing on your room. Can your parents see what you are doing on room? No, why? Because you are living on some different room and your parents are living on different room. You cannot see what they are doing and they cannot see what you are doing. Similarly, if you are on your room, can you see what your sibling is doing on their room? No, why? Because you are on a different room and they are on a different room. So similarly, in real time also, if you allocate a namespace for developers, they will work on that namespace only. And they cannot see what testers are doing. They cannot see the pods of testers. Developers can see the pods of developers only. And testers can see the pods of a and clients can see pods of the clients only, and a DevOps engineer can see only your pods. Okay. So now here, if we go and understand what is the meaning of namespace, namespace is to divide the cluster to multiple teams on real time. That means if you want to divide the cluster for multiple teams in real time, you need to create a concept called namespace. So this namespace is to provide isolation for environment. What is the meaning of isolation? Separation. Just like for your home, you are having separation of rooms. Okay. So in cluster also, we are going to separate the workspace of a different teams. So developer will work on dev namespace, tester will work on the testing namespace, UAT will work on the, sorry, clients will work on UAT namespace, and DevOps engineer will work on the DevOps namespace. So like this, I am going to divide. Just like your parents are on room 1, they cannot see room 2, room 3, and room 4. Similarly, if developers are on developing namespace, they cannot see tester, UAT, and DevOps work. Why? Because that is isolated. What is the meaning of isolation? Separation. You cannot see other people work. You can see only your work. Okay. So to understand this concept effectively, I have compared the cluster with the home and namespace with the room. So each namespace in the cluster is going to be isolated. If you are on room 1, are you able to see room 2? No. Similarly, if developing team create a pod on developing namespace, testing team cannot able to access. Why? Because these both are working on separate namespace. So one namespace cannot be accessible from other namespace. So we can't access the object from one namespace to another. So now is the concept of namespace clear for all of you first of all? Why we need to use namespace in real time? Huh? To distribute the cluster to multiple teams. This is the only point you need to fix on your mind. To divide the cluster to multiple teams, you need to use a namespace. Again, there is one more question. Why to divide the cluster for multiple teams? Can't we create multiple cluster for multiple teams? We can create or not? You can create, huh? If you create that, you are going to pay into 4 times. Okay. Maintenance will be very high. That is the reason instead of creating multiple clusters for multiple teams, we are going to create single cluster, and that cluster we are going to divide for the teams. How exactly we are going to divide rooms for our family members in a house? Here also I'm going to divide the namespace for the different teams. So is the introduction of namespace clear for all of you know? Online, can you please confirm is the namespace intro clear for all of you or not? Okay, clear. And for worker node, you can take T2 medium, Angit Kumar. Hope it is clear. About fine node to master node. Your question is not clear, Pujita. Okay, fine. Anyways. So now guys, by default, if you go to the Kubernetes cluster, you will be having 4 different namespaces by default. How many? Let me show you. Go and give the command kubectl get namespace. NS stand for namespace. You can use the command namespace or you can get the NS. So these 4 will be the default namespace. Whenever if you create the cluster, while creating the cluster only this namespace will come. So this we are not going to create. Kubernetes will create for itself. First namespace will be default. Second one will be kube node list. Third one will be kube public and fourth one will be so default, kube node list, kube public and kube system. If you go and see here, default means by default, if you create any object on the cluster, it will store on this namespace only. To make it more understanding for you, give the command kubectl get PO. Am I having any pod now? I'll create one static pod. Kubectl run pod1 image. Nginx I'm taking. Which image? Now give the command kubectl get PO. You are getting the pod now, right? So this pod has been created on the default works like namespace. Here you can see. Previously, there is no resource on the default namespace, but are you seeing a pod is running or not, sir? And even if you want some more information, give the command kubectl describe pod. So guys, even though if you don't give pod name, that's completely fine. If you write kubectl describe pod, it is going to give the complete information of all pods. Am I giving the pod name here? But even I'm getting or not, sir? In the describe, you can see currently this pod is on which namespace? That means by default, if you create any object on Kubernetes, that is going to store on the default namespace only. Where it is going to store? Is the point clear for all of you? Yes. Second one will be kube node list. What is second one here? It will store the objects which is taken from one namespace to, for example, let's see, I'm having the cluster. Okay. So in this cluster, in the testing environment, I have a pod where I have taken this pod from testing environment to developing environment. In this case, these kind of pods are going to store on the kube node list. Where these are going to store? Kube node list. Third one is going to be kube public. See, in my current cluster, how many teams I'm having? 4 teams. Now my question is, if I create a pod on dev namespace, who is going to use that? Developers. If I create on testing namespace, who is going to use that? If I create on UAT, client will use. If I create on DevOps namespace, we will use it. But I want to create an object that is going to access for every teammates in the cluster. In that case, I can create on kube public. Where I can create? If you create any object on the kube public, that object can be used by any of the team in the cluster. Okay. So here I have given the same point in the nodes itself. So kube public means all the public objects will be storing here. And this kind of object can be used by any kind of teams. There is no restriction. Is it clear for all of you now? Again, first one default. Default means every object will create here only. Second one kube node list. If you take the object from one worker node and from one namespace to another namespace, you are going to store it here. Third one kube public. By default, if anybody want to access any pod, so that is going to create from kube public. That means publicly that pod is accessible for any team. Final one will be kube system. Guys, by default, Kubernetes will create some objects for the cluster. By default, Kubernetes will create some of the objects for the cluster. And these Kubernetes objects are going to store on kube system namespace. Which namespace? If you want me to show, go here and give the command call kubectl get PO. I can see only one pod, right? But if I give the command kubectl get PO -a, this is going to list all pods from all namespaces. It is going to list all pods from all namespace. Are you seeing all of these pods? So this pod called AWS Cloud Control, already we discussed in the concept of Kubernetes architecture, Kubernetes will be having a lot of controller. Here we have AWS Cloud Controller pod. It is on which namespace? Who create this one? Kubernetes automatically create. And if you go to POPs controller, it is on which namespace? That means that is created by Kubernetes. And you can see kube proxy. It is on Kubernetes. Sorry, kube system namespace. That means it is going to be created by Kubernetes. But there is a pod called pod1. It is on which namespace? That means who created this one? We created this one. Okay. So by default, if you get kubectl get pivo, you can get only list of the pods from only that namespace. Currently, we are on default namespace. But if you want to get the list of all pods from all namespaces, you can put -a. And one of the alternative, you can put -all. So in this way also you can list. Sorry, wait. -all namespace. Wait, there is all namespaces. Okay, spelling is wrong here. S is missing. Wait. This is the alternative command actually. Okay, instead of -a, you can put -f on all namespaces. Are you getting now? Like that. Huh? If you remember in the day one of Kubernetes, I said a point. What are the components of Kubernetes architecture? Tell me. Components. Marishitira. API server, etcd, scheduler, controller, kubelet, kube proxy. If you go and see, are you seeing scheduler here? Are you seeing kube proxy here? Are you seeing API server here? Are you seeing the DNS here? Already in the day one of Kubernetes only, I said one point very, very clearly. All the components of Kubernetes architecture are going to create like a pod. If you go and see, let me show you. In the day one, if you go and see here, I said this point. All the components of a cluster will be created as a, that means this API server, etcd, scheduler, controller, kubelet, kube proxy, all these are going to create like a pod. And where all these pods are going to store inside the kube system. So this is very, very important namespace you are going to remember on the Kubernetes. Okay. So again, so kube system is a kind of namespace. By default, Kubernetes will create some objects. These are going to store on this namespace. What are the objects? API server, etcd. Every Kubernetes component is going to create like a pod. Kube public objects will be visible publicly to all the teams. Kube node list. If you lease an object from one node to another node, I mean like from one namespace to another namespace, that is going to store here. Default, by default, everything is going to store on the default namespace only. Here, note point, every component in Kubernetes cluster is going to create in the form of pod, and all these pods are going to store on the kube system namespace. Never ever forget this point. It is very, very important for you. Is the point clear for all of you now? Great. So, sir, if I want to list the pods from a particular namespace, give the command kubectl get po -n default. This is going to list the pods from the default namespace only. Sir, if I want to list the pods from kube proxy, I mean like, sorry, kube node list. Kube node list. Are you having any pods on kube node list? Next one, kube public. Are you having anything on kube public? No. If you want to get from kube system, are you getting the pods from kube system or not, sir? There you go. Okay. But if you want to get pod from all namespaces, just put -. Okay, that's it. It is going to list all the pods from all the namespace. Fine. So now here, whatever the diagram we can see, this diagram I'm going to show on the practical way now. What is the practical way here? So first of all, I'll create the developing namespace and I'm going to show you how to create pod on this namespace. First of all, what is the command to create the namespace? You can use imperative method and you can use declarative method. Okay. So let me go and show you. Kubectl get ns. Are you getting namespace? Kubectl create ns. Name of the namespace will be dev. Now give the command kubectl get ns. Are you seeing dev namespace now? Sir, if I want to work on that namespace, I need to switch to that namespace. Now, currently I'm on default namespace only. Which namespace? How can you confirm you are on default namespace? There is a command called kubectl config view. This is the command. In the kubectl config view command, coming to the namespace, are you seeing the namespace here? Are you seeing any namespace here? No. If you are not seeing any namespace here, that means you are on default namespace. But if I go to dev namespace, if I use the same command, I'll get the namespace. Let me show you. How to switch to developing namespace. Command will be lengthy, but in practice, it's going to be easy for you. Kubectl config context. I mean, like kubectl context actually, it's not config actually. Kubectl config. So config set context hyphen current namespace is equal to dev. That means this is the command what I'm gonna use to switch from one namespace to another namespace. Kubectl config set context hyphen current namespace is equal to dev. So this is the command to switch from one namespace to another namespace. Hit enter. Are you seeing context got modified? Now use the same command kubectl config view. Now this time, are you seeing the namespace dev? But previously, are you seeing any namespace here? If you are seeing the namespace, that is fine. But if you are not seeing any namespace, that means currently you are in which namespace? What is the command to fetch the namespace here? Kubectl config view. Is it clear for all of you know? So now currently I'm on developing namespace. In default namespace, how many pods I created? One pod. But if I give the command kubectl get PO, in this namespace, am I able to see the default namespace pods here? Why? Because it is isolated. It is what? That means whenever if you are working on dev namespace, you cannot see the default namespace pods. That is what exactly I see. If you are on one namespace, you cannot see other namespace. If you are on your if you are on your room, can you see what your sibling is doing on his room? No. Here also, if I'm on dev namespace, I cannot see pods of any other namespace. Okay. Now what I'll be doing is try to create 3 new pods. Kubectl run dev1. Pod name will be dev1 hyphen image. Let's take Nginx. And I'm creating pod 2 also. I mean like dev2 pod. And I'm creating dev3 pod. Now give the command kubectl get PO. Are you seeing the list of the pods or not, sir? These are running on which namespace? Dev. But if I go to test, am I able to see them? Can we check it? By default, we cannot see. Okay. So tell me the command to create the testing namespace. First of all, get the namespace. Do I have test namespace here? No. Give the command kubectl. How to create the namespace, man? Kubectl create ns. Name of the namespace will be test. Have you got the testing namespace now? But still you are on which namespace? Dev. How can you confirm? By running the command kubectl config view. Currently you are on which namespace? I want to switch to text. How can I switch? Kubectl config set context hyphen current namespace is equal to. Now I came to testing namespace. Again, how to confirm? Give the command kubectl config view. Currently, we're on which namespace here? Now I am on test namespace. Give the command kubectl get PO. Are you seeing the pods? Now why? Because it is entirely different namespace now. So you cannot see the previous namespace. But still, if you want to see, give the command kubectl get PO hyphen n dev. That means get the pod from dev namespace. Am I getting the dev pods now? And even if I want to delete the pod, kubectl delete. Name of the pod will be dev1. From which namespace? Dev. Kubectl delete pod. Name of the pod will be dev1 and from dev namespace. Is the pod got removed or not, sir? Sir, what you said previously, If you are on dev namespace, you cannot see the pod on testing namespace and you cannot able to do anything. But here I'm on testing namespace, but I can see the dev pods or not, sir. And I can delete the pods or not, sir. And even I can create also. That means whatever I said in the picture, is it working properly or is not working properly? Not working properly. It is not working properly means, have I said wrong or not, sir? Now is my point correct or wrong? Tell me, is it correct or wrong? Eh? Wrong, right? And you, Anirudh? Correct only, yeah? If it is correct, then why I'm getting this error? It should not access the pods, right? And what about with Adapir? I said correct or wrong? Wrong. And you? Wrong only. Correct. She is the one who is believing me now. So all of you are not believing. See, whatever the point I said is correct point only, but the implementation is wrong. Which one? In Kubernetes, there is a concept called RBAC. Which one? What is RBAC? Already we discussed in Jenkins. Role-based access control. That means depending upon your permission, you are going to work on the cluster. See, in real time, once I create the cluster, so I'm going to create a user. What I'm going to create? See, I'm going to create the user called developer one. Or like let's take any of the user. I'm taking RAM user here, for example. What I'm creating here? So for this RAM user, I'm going to enable RBAC. With the help of the RBAC, now RAM user can able to work on only developing namespace. If we try to go to any of the other namespace like UAT or like testing or DevOps namespace, he's not going to go there. Why? Because there I'm going to enforce some policies for him. Just like in Jenkins, I give RBAC for user to restrict the set of things. Here also I'm going to restrict the user by using the concept called RBAC only. Here I have given this point. What I have given is in real time, we use RBAC concept to restrict the access from one namespace to. That means if I create a user, he will be working on only one namespace. He cannot see other namespace. He cannot do any other thing. He can only log into that particular namespace. But if I want to implement that one, which concept we need to learn? RBAC. So users cannot access or delete the namespace because of the restriction what we are going to provide. So we create roles and role binding for the user. So even if you go and see, give the command kubectl delete nsdev. So if I delete the namespace called dev, automatically all the pods will go. But in real time, if you do like this, our application is going to remove or not, sir. But we are not going to do it. Why? Because we provide the policies for the user. Here we can call as roles and role binding. Okay. So depending upon the roles and role binding, we are going to give some set of permission. Based upon the permission only, he is able to work. If you want me to give high level overview in my real time, if I want to create a, like if I want to give permission for a fresher, I'll create a user for him. And for that user, I can only give creating the pod, listing the pod, describing the pod. Apart from that, I cannot give the delete access. Only creating, listing, describing. That's it. Apart from that, I don't give any kind of permission. Is it clear for you now? Online, can you please confirm is the concept of RBAC clear for you? What is RBAC and how to implement this one? I mean, like theoretically only. Yes. Great. So now this is the concept of the Kubernetes namespace. First of all, the main agenda of namespace is to divide the cluster to multiple teams in the real time. Second agenda is, so multiple teams are working on organization, they cannot see work. Developers cannot go for testing pods, tester cannot go for developing pod. So to implement this one, we need to use the concept called RBAC. That's it. So now in the concept of namespace, are you having any doubts or any queries, guys, till now? No doubts. Online, can you please confirm, are you having any doubts till now in this concept? Okay. Give me a second, guys. Okay, fine. So next year, I'm gonna like teach a concept called daemon set. Which one? I think all of you know deployment, right? Deployment can create multiple pods in the multiple servers, right? But there is a concept called daemon set in the Kubernetes. This daemon set can create one pod per one node. Let me show you. For example, wait. I'll be going to create a cluster. In this cluster, how many nodes I'm having? One master node and two worker nodes. So for worker nodes, I'm taking some different color to make some differentiation. So for example, if I have deployment, this deployment can create how many pods I want. So for example, if I give this deployment is equal to 10, that many how many pods are going to create now? 10 pods. That means first worker node will get how many pods? 5. And second worker node will get 5. So let's go and check it. So VM deploy .yml. Of course, you can give whatever name you want. It doesn't matter really. Wait. It is my deployment here. Already you know this deployment manifest file, so I'm not going to explain this one file. So how many number of replicas I have given there? kubectl create -f deploy.yml. So give the command kubectl get pivot. Are you getting the pods now? So if you want to get the IP address of the pod, you need to put -o wide. Oh, sorry. Here I have given 0. I need to put -o. So now you can go and check here. Let me filter out them. So it is my ID of first server. So my first server ID is 8C. Second server ID is B5. So 8C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means 5 of them are running on worker node 1 and 5 of them are working on worker node 2. So I'll delete them. How to delete means give the command kubectl. Instead of create, put delete. See, if you give kubectl create, it is going to create whatever the content we have written on deploy.yml. But instead of create, if I put delete, so whatever the objects that I create from the file, that is going to delete. Let me delete them. So guys, by default, we use deployment in real time, but there are some specific requirements. How means you want to create only one node per one worker node in some specific requirement. At that time, instead of using deployment, we are going to use the common concept called daemon set. What we are going to use? Daemon set will create only one pod per one node. How many pod per node? Currently, how many worker nodes are there? That means how many pods will create per each worker node? Per each worker node. One. If I create a new node, automatically new pod will come. Okay. So in future, if I create a new node in future, so automatically for this new node, okay, the pod will be copied. It is going to done automatically, not manually. In the similar way, in future, if I delete this pod, I mean like in future, if I delete this particular server, automatically the pod is also going to be removed. Okay. So let me show how to execute the daemon set now. So go vim deploy.yml. The only difference between them is in the kind, instead of deployment, put here daemon set. DAEMONSET. And next one, so here you are not allowed to give replicas. Why? Because it is going to create only one pod per one node. So we cannot give replicas here. Now that is the only difference. Give the command kubectl create -f file name. File name can be anything. So it is telling that daemon set is having a issue. Why? Because let me tell you, give the command kubectl API resources. If I give this API resources, let me search for daemon set here. You can get daemon set. In daemon set, okay. So what is the API version app slash v1? And in daemon set here, D and S will be capital. Have you seen this one? Where it is? Yeah, here. Have you seen this one? But in our manifest file, what I have done, I have given small s. What I have given? You can simply compare here. So instead of capital S, I have given here small s. Now try to replace this with capital. So give the command kubectl create -f name of the file. Is it created now? If I try to list out the pods, I'll get only how many pods? 2. How I am getting 2? Even though if you see the file here, have I mentioned replicas here? Even though if I haven't mentioned replicas, how I am getting only 2 pods means I have only 2 worker nodes. Daemon set will create only 1 pod per 1 worker node, but deployment can create multiple pods on multiple worker nodes. In interview, they are going to ask you what is the difference between daemon set and deployment. Deployment can create n number of pods in worker node, but whereas daemon set can create only 1 pod per 1 worker node. Is it clear for you now? And daemon set is the older version of deployment. Before deployment comes, we use daemon set, but after in the upcoming versions, daemon set got removed and now we are using the deployment. And the major advantage of using the daemon set, to create the metric server. I'll tell you what is the metric server and everything on tomorrow's session. But for now, this is enough. In today's class, we've seen how to scale the cluster. Then what is the namespace, how to implement the namespace, and what is the daemon set. Only these topics we have seen. Now, before going for doubts and queries, first of all, how's the class for all of you today? Is the class clear for all of you? Online, can you please confirm how's the class for all of you today? You can confirm in chat box online. So it was clear, good. Wait, fine. So now tell me, is Kubernetes really difficult for to learn? No, right? What is the small technique here into understanding Kubernetes? What is the technique you need to understand for learning Kubernetes? Technique is instead of focusing on the code, you need to focus on the, that's it. Okay. That is the thing that I'm saying from day one. Okay. So only you need to have what? Concept, not the codes itself. So here I am giving the notes for you. And let me give the daemon set also. So it is a daemon set. And there is something we can speak about replication controller, but I'm not going to teach now. Why? Because for today it is fine. Okay. So this Kubernetes, we need to learn limited part per day. I have some time, but if I start teaching you for the rest of the time, it is going to be difficult for you. So we'll go slow and study. Okay. That's it. Here, that is what I mentioned. Use it to create 1 pod per 1 worker node. It is a older version of deployment. It will create a new node. Sorry, it will create a new pod. Sorry, it will create. Sorry, it will not. If we create a new node, a new pod is going to create automatically. Or if you delete the old node, a pod is going to be removed. In real time, we will not remove daemons in any case. See, you can remove the pods, replicas, and deployment also. But daemon sets never ever try to delete. It is going to be cost a lot for you. So even I never removed any daemon set in my organization. So don't remove that one. And coming to the use cases, daemon sets are used to create the pod for logging, monitoring of the nodes. I'll tell how to monitor the worker nodes in the upcoming days for you. That's it. So now After working with the cluster, now if you want to delete the cluster, how we are going to delete, manually or by using command? Command. What is the command means? Very easy. Cops, delete, cluster. What is the name of the cluster here? Rahams dot k8s dot local. Input hyphen hyphen. Yes, that is the command to delete the cluster. So now online, before I remove the cluster, now if you are having any doubts or any queries, you can ask me now. So we can discuss the doubts and queries part and I can delete the cluster. You can put your name also. Okay. So now online, any queries from your end? Online, any queries from your end or offline? Any queries from you? No doubts, huh? Online, what about you guys? Any queries from your end? Note in real time, we use 5 node cluster to master and 3 node worker nodes. Could you explain this? Yeah, okay. So basically, in real time, if I use single master node and 2 worker nodes, what will happen? Unfortunately, if this master node got deleted, unfortunately, of course, we have auto scaling group. But if this master node is not working due to some reason, now master node cannot place the pod on worker node. If I cannot place the pod, how can I give the application to the user? Can I able to give? No. So for that purpose, instead of creating one master, I'm going to create 2 master nodes. Why? Because if one master node got failed, I have the second master. So second master can able to manage all of these worker nodes. So in real time production level environment, 2 master nodes and 1 worker node will be used. So don't try to work with one master and worker. But here for the practical part, we can go with one master node. I hope it is clear for you now, Sai Pushta. Admin. But you need to learn the knowledge. Na? See, here don't compare yourself as a fresher. I never treat you as a fresher. You are experienced people only. I am teaching you the subject on that way only, and you need to work on that way only. Okay. Why? Because for fresher, you can get the job easily. But getting the job is not major thing here. Learning the subject is going to be very important thing for you. And even I focus on the subject rather than job. I focus you to get the subject very well. If you have subject, you can get any job. Okay. First 6 months you'll be in probation period. I think for fresher, you don't know this one. If you get placed on any of the company, for first 6 months you'll be in probation period. That means they are going to monitor you. In the first 6 months, what are the works they are teaching you and what are the assignments they have given for you? If you do them, you will be good. Or otherwise, if you are not doing them in the expected way, they are going to terminate you. It is legal only. Okay. So for the first 6 months, you need to be very careful on any of the organization. Okay. Bye. In offer letter, they will mention this point. If you are not up to our level, you can terminate you after 6 months. That is clearly mentioned. I think Ankit is attending online from today. Yep. Suddenly from the elections, everyone gone to home, but none of them have returned. Everyone is taking online session. That was I wonder. Previously, I can see 25 people are offline here, but now I can see only 10 to 15 maximum. But unfortunately, there will be a lot of difference for offline and online. So offline will be very interactive and very interesting to learn, but online, so. Can you provide some interview question for experienced people? Yes, Pujta, I can provide. Okay. Don't worry about it. So I'm removing the cluster. And one more thing, guys, if you remove the cluster, this main node you can keep or you can remove this one. If I keep this one, in tomorrow's session also, I can use the same node to create the cluster. As of now, I'm stopping this one. Why? Because tomorrow also I can use the same node to create the cluster. Okay. So still any queries? Okay, I'll ask you a question in return. If you have a chance to ask one question to me, what is that one question? Only one question. Uh, I mean, like I cannot tell this on the online. So that is the reason I muted online. Okay. That is a product-based company. We worked on ML project there. Complete AML. Okay. It's completely our own product. So like on that organization that my job is to automate everything. So automate the infrastructure by using Terraform, automating the workflow by using the Jenkins pipeline, and automating the configuration management by Kubernetes. So sorry, not Kubernetes, not Ansible. Later, first of all, we worked on monolithic. Later that our organization decided to move to microservice. So then I again worked on both Docker and Kubernetes. So this is my complete overall work on that organization. And even whatever the knowledge that I gain, the same amount of knowledge I'm sharing for you. Why? Because there I have built everything from the scratch with my own hands. That is the reason why I got this much of knowledge. If you ask like anything, I can able to deliver. Why? Because I faced a lot of issues initially. There is no one to help me at that time. I learned by my own. I read the official documentation. I read a lot of blogs to do the troubleshooting. That is the reason why I'm delivering content in easy manner for you. Why? Because I know what are the difficulties in this subject. If I know the difficulties, then I can find any solution to any cause. Only that one question. Think today and let me know by tomorrow. I'm giving this wonderful opportunity for you. Let's see like who is the smartest person in the class. Any one question, but only one question. Fine. So by this, we can conclude today's class. So let's meet on tomorrow's session. Why? Because it's running now. So I'm leaving 10 minutes before early for you. Thank you all and thanks for joining. So let's meet on tomorrow's session with a new topic. Have a great day. Bye. Good night.